Welcome back. You're listening to Getting Real with Réal Andrews and Alex Rubina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Don't forget to download your free AM 1220 KHTS app so you can take us with you anywhere. We got Coach Korn from Valencia in with us today. So if you've got questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can give us a call at 661-298-5487 or that's 661-298-KHTS. As a matter of fact, we got a caller on the line. Who do we have here?
Name's Diane.
Hey, Diane, you got a question for Korn?
I actually have two questions.
Okay.
My first is, and I'm just kind of going off of what he said, and by the way, I love your show, guys.
Thank you.
So there's a fight that I have in my house with my husband. We have a 5-year-old son, and I think that he should wait to be a freshman before he plays tackle football, and I heard Coach say that he had a lot of first-time players, and I kind of want to get his perspective because my husband wants to put him in like right away in tackle football to get him ready for high school. So I kind of wanted his perspective on that. And then he made a comment about yelling to get them in line, and that's always been my question. It seems like coaches always yell. Why do they yell?
Okay, well we'll address the how old to play at. Well, my advice would be it'd be nice to have at least 1 year of pad experience before he got to high school would be my suggestion. You don't have to play 5 years, 6 years. It would help, have him looking better the first day he steps on the field with me. But if he plays that 1 year, he's used to the equipment. It's not a big adjustment. The other important thing, though, too, when you're talking about playing for youth coaches, to me, is the youth coach he's playing for is huge because some people can be a real negative to where the kid will never want to play football again, and some can be a positive. So you might want to do your homework on if he is going to play, who's he playing for. Try to ask some people who've played for that coach. Is he a good guy? Is it a positive guy that's going to make it a rewarding experience for him? And now, as far as the yelling, I do probably less yelling. I just do what I call up downs. If they don't line up, I usually give a countdown, and then the kids don't get it, I'll do the whole team. I'll just go circle it up. We'll blow the whistle, real quick kind of punishment thing. So they learn their lesson and get them back on the line. And then as the season goes, they kind of learn that, hey, when coach is saying do this or do that, we better do it, in a timely fashion or this will happen. So that's kind of how we do it. But, yelling is just a part of the game because sometimes we're talking about safety issues. When you're talking about guys not listening or doing the right kind of blocking assignments or something, we got a quarterback who's exposed. You got to make sure these guys know what they're doing or know that they're not supposed to hit the quarterback in certain drills, those kind of things. So that's when maybe the yelling might come out.
Got it. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you for calling in.
Here's my take when it comes to having kids start young. I feel like with my son, having him start, I didn't put him in right away at 5 years old. I actually waited till he was like 7 or 8 where he was bugging me to do it because I didn't want to be one of those dads who are like, you're playing football because I wanted to live through my son. I wanted to kind of dangle the carrot, and it wasn't until he was 7 or 8 where he's like, hey, Dad, he was bugging me a couple seasons, and I said, all right, you're ready. But I also knew that not every kid that loves playing football can handle pads. Because I also coach Pop Warner, and I've seen through the years, the kids will show up and they're excited, and they're excited about this one kid because he's really fast, or he's got great hands, and we're like, well, let's let him get past the pads first because getting hit with pads, I don't think every kid can handle that. Some kids get nervous. My own son went through that period where he got nervous every time, and it was like, I used to tell him, Mark, you're only nervous because you have to get past the first 3 or 4 days or the first week of the pads. After that, if you can take it, then you're gonna love it. But after that, it's kind of that breaking point, and that's usually what happens.
That's why it's important that you have a coach that kind of knows what he's doing because for example, like on a freshman, I could have a kid that's 280 and a kid that's 90 pounds. Now, obviously, you never really want them to be going against each other.
That's
you
right.
can avoid it in like hitting drills or what have you. So that's why we do a lot of our hitting in like individual groups. So they're by position. So that small kid's probably going to be a defensive back. Most defensive backs are similar size. That big guy is going to be a lineman. Well, he's going to be banging around with linemen. The guy's his size. And then when you're into drills, again, it's going to be size versus size. Your linemen are going against linemen, linebackers against fullbacks, DBs against receivers. So as long as you keep that, it's usually not a negative experience. But if you go against some, huge beast,
you can kill the spirit in you. All of a sudden now it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the key there, and that's what I loved about what you did, because I've been, I'll be honest with you, because when I was younger, I actually had that mindset myself, and I've been part of teams where they're going to just, let's hitting day, and let's see who's tough, and let's see who can suck it up. But what I realized in hindsight, what I loved what you did, because you didn't say you guys are going to go with the small guys, and you put them there so they still think that they're excited. You didn't say, you didn't demoralize them by saying you just let them go. We're going to go with the different groups. That way they can get, comfortable and get, to a point where they're comfortable with the hitting. We're going to jump to another caller. Did we get Kirk back? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Kirk, you got a question for Coach Korn?
Yeah, it's actually more of a coaching stance question, but I've never been a basketball, I've never been a team sport player. I was a wrestler. So my son has now joined a basketball team, and the coach needed help. So I came on as sort of the assistant coach, but I was wondering if you could offer up some advice. I don't have the knowledge in basketball to teach, so I let the coach do the teaching, and I do more of the discipline and calisthenics and keeping them in physical shape. And I'm good at that, I just know. But can you offer me any advice as a first-time coach to come in, and what's the best way to kind of keep control of the kids?
Well, again, you set limitations. So in other words, if you want them to line up, what you can do is do like a countdown thing. Just don't even tell them. Just start counting down 5, 4, 3. You get to 1. Okay, that's it on the line. And you do some kind of line drill or whatever. Trust me, you do that once or twice, they're gonna hop into order. The other thing you can do too, if you want to get more knowledge about basketball, or you just want to know how to control them, is that?
Well, I don't think I'll ever end up being a basketball coach, but my son loves it so much, and the fact that I came on to help the team, he's really shining. And I don't favor him for any reason, because I don't want anything like that to happen. But I do. Right now, we're getting this conflict of, don't tell your dad, and then he's going to make us run or do calisthenics. So I don't want that to continue to happen. So I'm kind of in a bind, and I want to make sure that I do the right thing. They respect me and all, so
yeah, absolutely.
That's not the problem.
When you step on the court, this is where you got to approach it. In my opinion, you got to just say, hey, I'm a coach right now. I'm not dad. You got to change hats, and you got to treat everyone equally. And you can't worry about how it's going to affect them if what you're doing is what's the expectation of you and your head coach. If he's asking you to do it, then that's part of the coaching gig. At the end of the day, they're not always going to love what you do, but at the end of the season, hopefully they'll appreciate what you did. That's kind of the way I look at it.
I think a big part also that he could contribute is also teaching the kids the fundamentals of teamwork. Just, like paying attention. Yeah, hey, did you hear what I said? Just kind of getting them to fall a line behind each other, working together, that kind of stuff. He can probably help them, especially at that young age.
Absolutely.
One of the things that, it's a new tool. Actually, Alex is my life coach as well, and I've been learning some great tools from him. One of the things that he does, and if I was to coach again, I could see very powerful. He always says to me, repeat back to me what you heard me say. Tell me what you heard me say, because a lot of the times, and it really causes you to engage. So I could see myself talking to the kids, and I go, tell me what you guys just heard me say. What do you think of that?
Oh, absolutely. You're talking about teenagers to start there, and it's a blank look on their face usually when you ask them that kind of question. But in the bigger picture, it actually affects where they are. We talked about levels on my team: first string, second string, third string. We call it purple, or we call it P1, P2, G1, purple, gold kind of groups. If you don't know what you're doing, and we've taken the time to teach you, you get moved down in a group. We move the guy up. Even though maybe you're better talent, but you don't know what you're doing, I'm going to move the guy who does, the guy who took the time to learn his place. As in life, you go to a job, you better know what you're doing, and if you can't, they're going to go to the next person that can. And I make the kids keep their own playbook. They make their own playbooks. I don't hand them one, because my experience is that they'll never look at it. They really don't learn it. But I make them make their own. They write down the plays in the summer, back when we start, and they should learn it. And if I get a new kid who shows up, I have one of the kids go over it and teach him the playbook by his notes. And that really, to me, works well. But even with that, there's kids that either don't take the time to learn it, or they're lazy with following up on learning it, which is going to affect their playing time.
One of the reasons why I actually ask those questions is because I want to be accountable for my communication. If I ask you, what did you hear me say? And it doesn't sound close to the same ballpark of what the message I'm trying to convey, it tells me that I need to change how I'm saying it. Or maybe I need to tell it in a story. The only reason why I'm saying that a lot of times is, one, so that you can hear yourself say it, but more importantly is really to see if I can be a more effective coach, if I can give the instructions in a more powerful way or a more effective way.
That's good. Yeah, you know what? Because I found myself. We got another caller? Okay, good. I found myself doing that. I realized I didn't have your techniques, but I realized because several times I would give, direction. And when I start seeing that the whole group is not getting it, I have to go, well, maybe I'm not communicating it properly. But, I want to switch gears a little bit. It's called Getting Real. I want to talk about, because you've mentioned it a couple times, life lessons. And, I had a couple specific, what I call great life lessons because of you, and I'm very thankful for it. Now, on the outside, my wife was not happy at all. But, and that's usually what happens a lot. And I have to tell, I come from 2 points. One is I come from the world of, whoever God puts in your life, whether it's a teacher, a coach, a police officer, or what, you need to respect them. They're put there for a reason. There's so much now. It's like, I don't like that teacher, I'm going to switch. No, dude, what do you mean? I never had that option as a kid. What are we teaching our kids now? Because when they get into the real world, you got a boss. I don't like that boss. That's what they're teaching them. And one of the things, there was several life lessons that I saw personally, but one of the things that was a big issue in my house, but I saw the bigger picture of where you were going, was, my son came home and he said that, Coach Corn had this meeting and he said that certain kids will get it easy and, that's life and you're just going to have to deal with it. Well, my wife went sideways on that one. She didn't like it at all. And I was like, I see the bigger picture because that's life. And that is the way it's going to be. So are you going to sit there and mope and complain? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to work harder or something like that? What's your input on that kind of stuff?
Well, the point I was trying to make was, like, if you look at NFL, for example, not all players are paid the same. Why? Because some guys are more valuable to the team than others. And like it or not, it's just the way it is. So some people make millions of dollars and some guys make the minimum wage. But all guys are important to the team. And that's kind of the message I was sending. So again, in life, you're gonna, people are gonna make more than you. People are gonna make less than you. How hard you work, how do you want to elevate yourself? You can, like you said, mope around, or you can just bear down and try to become the best you can be, and let the chips fall where they may.
And that's no different than business. I mean, the entrepreneur that outworks everybody, the entrepreneur that's doing more personal development, that's doing the more learning their craft or studying the industry, they're gonna get the benefits, they're gonna get the goodies, they're gonna get the results and the payoffs that the average person's not. And the football field, the baseball field, the basketball court is all a playground for us to learn those lessons as a young kid, so that when we get out into the world and we want to navigate life, we've got some of those already. We've already been introduced to that.
The hardest thing, too, to me, was all the personalities. You have 80 personalities.
That's right.
The games were easy. Playing and executing on the field, that was the easy part of getting to that. It was getting through the week of practice. It was getting through all the, little conflicts between kids and, which, again, is life. And that was, to me, the biggest headache,
And the school. And then there's their grades.
Absolutely.
And then there's, this kid got kicked out of class, and can you go talk to your coach? And it's got to be like a soap opera.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a school with you.
Being a soap opera actor,
you got the parents. There's so many different things you got to juggle.
It's a double-edged sword. It's season's over, you're kind of bummed, but season's over, like, all right, so let's go, let's move on.
There was two, and I just want to share it because I want parents to hear it from the other point of view, because I know the road that most people go down. There was another thing that, my son was a captain on the team. He started to make some bad decisions. There were some things going. Coach moved him down from captain, and, I'm thankful for that. Because at the time, my son was butthurt, but I know down the road, that was a huge life lesson. And because it gave me the opportunity, we had a talk together, and it really wasn't about questioning you. Mm-hmm. It was about, I saw an opportunity to have a coaching moment with my son, to know that he needs to respect, his, authority figure. But at home, it gave me an opportunity to say, listen, you need to understand something, son. Coach saw greatness in you. That's why he put you as a captain. And when you're a captain, whether you like it or not, that holds you at a higher standard. So you got to make different decisions. You know, he was butthurt at the time, but I promise you, I just know in my heart that's going to pay off big down the road.
You gotta be sitting there going, man, I wish there were more parents that at least had the frame of mind to foresee what I'm doing, or even trust that I'm doing certain things and making certain decisions for a reason.
Right.
It's not to mess with your kid, or it's not that I don't see their greatness. It's that I'm trying to teach them a lesson. One of my greatest lessons when I was a really good baseball player as a kid, and I think there was a certain point I just started to get a little arrogant. And one of my coaches, he sat me out on a game, and I was like, I couldn't believe that was going on. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm your best player. But it humbled me. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget the time that he sat me out a game. It taught me a lesson. It taught me how to realize that I'm not bigger than the team, that the team is, the greatest. We're great together as a team. And it was the biggest life lesson that I've ever learned in my life.
Well, and that's one of the recent hard things that I deal with. These kids come from these Pop Warner programs and teams, and they're like, they always play, and they're the star.
That's right.
They've been treated a certain way, and then they get to us, and we don't put up with that. And so there is some friction because of that. And like you were referring to earlier, too, is we're in this day and age now where, I'm not happy, or I'm not playing, I'm going to go somewhere else. So people leave, jump ship. It's just what the world we deal with in. So I always hear about all these players that are coming to me, but I've learned that I'll just wait to see who shows up. Those are the guys I'm going to coach.
That's right.
Because people still take off and leave to other places. So,
that's why they put that. But that's why they put that rule that you have to sit. If you leave to another school, you got to sit out a year. I actually like that rule because it forces you to go back to the old school where you couldn't leave.
Right.
It was like, that's your home school. You got to,
right.
You can't figure out how to, use your coach to leverage you to do your best to get to the next level, or to impress your coach. And it forced you to figure out how to reinvent yourself to give the coach what he was looking for, right, rather than saying, you just don't see my gift, or you don't see what it is, I'm going to go to somewhere else.
Well, and the bottom line is, if you're going to be a football player, you got to be able to compete. I mean, really, if you want to be the best, you got to compete. And it doesn't matter if you stay where you're at, or if you go somewhere else, you're still going to compete for your position. So it's how hard you work, what kind of skill set you have, and, goes from there.
I've seen the moms in the bleachers. Some of them are
great.
They're a little bit more intense than the dads are. They're like, that's my baby.
They get crazy.
Well, they love their kids. They think their kids are the best, and they probably are to them. But they also don't. They probably never have coached a football team or any teams, and they don't see the big picture.
I remember saying to Marcus, I said, you watch, son. I said, it's going to come down to hard work now. You're going into high school now. There's a lot of kids that were the starters because they were daddy ball and everything. And you watch, your hard work is going to pay off because they're not going to be starting. They're going to get a rude awakening. And a lot of them were, and there was one other thing I wanted to get out there because we've talked about this, and I was so excited, honestly, Coach, when you had your awards banquet. Coach gave out some specific awards, and that's it. Not everybody got a trophy because I hate that. I mean, it's like, what are you telling these kids? And I was so excited. I came home from that night, and that was my biggest moment. I said to my mom, thank gosh, finally, somebody's not going to give everybody a little trophy because that's not life.
And when you don't give out multiple trophies for every little thing, it's like you're keeping the honor of what the trophy means.
Right. Absolutely.
You're not making the meaning go, well, it's not, the value's not there because everyone got one.
Right.
And you're still making kids hungry for, like, next year, I want that.
Yeah.
So you're still getting kids that got that burning desire to step up and earn one.
Absolutely. That's kind of like, part of hopefully the attraction to it.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, real quick, so we talk about family all the time. So you've got Josh coaching with you. Olivia, your daughter's a cheerleader. Alex is a softball player. Your wife's the big team. What's that like to? Because when we were playing football, you basically had Josh with you. You had your daughter with you. It's really a family affair. How important is that to you?
Well, it's huge. At one point when my daughters were young, I didn't coach for like a period of 3 years just because it was too hard. They so much to run them around town, and it's an important point of their life. So we wanted to be freed up so I could be there for them. But now, they're older. Now it's awesome because we all share the same kind of interests. My daughter Alex, manages for me. My daughter Olivia cheers at the games, like you said. My son's coaching with me, not only football but volleyball. It's you're with your family. I mean, it even makes it more sweet than it was prior to that. So I look forward to. I got a great job. I look forward to going to work, forward to coaching, and I'm looking forward to next football season as we speak.
That's awesome. We're going to go a little. We got the real heroes in the room. These are some champions, Coach, that I've been working with. We're about, 7-8 weeks now. Tom over here started at 380. Andrew started at 390. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, guys.
Like you said, 7 weeks in, and I can say I'm down 28 pounds, and I'm feeling great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And this being Thanksgiving weekend, I just want to say on the record to everybody that I'm thankful for Coach Réal Andrews here for stepping up and just offering me this and being my coach along the way.
Thank you. Good. No, thank you for your yes.
Hey, this is Tom. I'm down 34 pounds.
Woo!
Yeah. And I'm thankful for these two gentlemen sitting right in front of me. Just helped me changing my life and trying to get things back to normal again.
Now, Tom, tell me, today you did how many workouts?
I did 3 workouts this morning.
Starting at 3:30 in the morning.
At 3:30 to 5:30, and then 11:30 to 12:30 we did one here at the station. So
nice.
Yep.
I'm so proud of you, and you know what? You're changing your legacy, and your son is so proud of you, and your wife as well. Your mom is loving you. You're your biggest fan, so we appreciate you, and we still got more to go, okay?
Yeah, we have way more to go.
All right, guys. So listen, guys, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Getting Real with Réal Andrews and Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. You're listening to Getting Real with Réal Andrews and Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Our show is brought to you by the Rebeccas. If you're looking to buy a house, you need to look no farther. www.therebeccas.com. If you need to call them, give them a call at 661-290-3880.
Speaking about champions, there are 2 champions.
They're 2 champions.
They
They delivered a pie to my house today. I don't know if that's reverse psychology, that I'm their trainer, and they delivered a bit, and it was big, huge. So I don't know what that message is. We've been talking to Coach Korn from the Valencia program. I have a quick question for you, Coach Korn. My son, my middle son, and I'm the dad. All my sons got to play football. He's massive. He's like every other kid. He wants to be the running back, the fullback. But he's a blessing. I mean, the guy's 12 years old. He's 145 pounds. So he walks on the field. We get excited as a coach. And he came to me last year. He said, Dad, I don't want to play anymore. And I was devastated. But I talked to a couple of people, and they said, you got to, respect that, so he'll come back when he figures out that girls like football players in high school.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. If he's saying he doesn't want to do it, you want to back off, because if you force him to, then he's really going to resent the fact that he's out there and never really buy into the hard work and what it takes to be a good football player. So I think over time, he sees his older brother playing. I think he'll come back to it. As long as he's got a little taste for it, you can get him back out there. As long as he gets out there I think if he plays his 8th grade year, like the year before, that's all the work you need going into your freshman year. As long as you got, athletic attributes that are going to help you in the game.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Did you ask him why?
Why? You know what, Alex? Actually, I didn't ask him why. So that was prior to you. So.
And I talked about earlier, perhaps it's the coach. I don't know. I mean, that's so important to me, especially when you're young. There's got to be a fun element to it. If they're out there, just yelling at kids and making them run, and they can't put together why they're out there, it's got to be fun. Like the drills, there should be some fun element to the drills. There should be competitive element to the drills, but it shouldn't all be about work. It should, when he comes off the field, he should go, I can't wait for the next practice. If he's all, I hated going there. Well, that's maybe part of the reason why too.
And it definitely for him, I remember his first year was a nightmare. It was terrible. He actually took the next year off. It was so bad. And then he got him back. And so definitely was part of that. Coach Korn, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your crazy schedule to come down, because like I said, I truly believe a coach is the most influential person in a young man's life in my world, next to dad. And, I know that you're changing many, many lives, and something you're going to be very excited about. My son happening to be one of them. Alex, something I'm excited about. I got both my kids in it. You're doing a teen leadership program coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a 2-day, very powerful, intense look at oneself. Just a massive, opportunity to really look at yourself, do some self-reflection. I also give opportunities to do this, create the safe space for the kids to do some cathartic releasing, letting go some of their past, some of their resentments, some of the self-limiting beliefs that they created. I help them look and see that some of the limiting beliefs they created about themselves aren't real. They're just beliefs. And we really examine that in a deep level. And then I do these powerful experiential exercises that has them shift into being more compassionate, more understanding towards what you guys are going through, you meaning the parents. And so what happens is quite often the parents will show up to the graduation and they'll look at me and go, "What'd you do to my kid? This isn't the same kid." There's a new spark inside of them. There's this new light inside of them. And then my advice to them is, now it's your job to figure out how to keep fanning that flame. And don't let that flame go out. It's like when our kids are born, we're given this beautiful torch, and it's our job to keep that torch lit. And when it's not, we got to really look at ourselves and say, what's next for me to figure out how to reinvent myself as a parent to keep inspiring my kids. Yeah, and that's great. I mean, all of us as we sit here, we got a lot to carry on our shoulders because we're living in a world right now that is not bringing up kids the way they need to. Well, you keep playing music like this, I'm going to get fired up every week. Just keep pumping it up. Well, listen, everybody, we want to thank you for dropping in and listening to Getting Real with Réal Andrews and Alex Urbina. Thank our coach, our guest, Coach Korn. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Don't forget to get your free app and take us with you. We'll see you next week. Take care and happy Thanksgiving.